Hi, ghost hunting fans! If you enjoyed Family Spirits, the adventures and evidence of Gallo family ghost hunters, you're going to love Family Spirits 2, Purpose and the Paranormal by Bobby J. Gallo. Paperback and nookbook available through Barnes & Noble. More adventure, more evidence, more ghosts. Materialize your copy today.
Okay, folks, this is Bobby J. Gallo, and welcome to the books that shaped Gallo family ghost hunters. Now, you might notice that we actually had something very similar on YouTube just a short while ago, but I deleted it. And the reason that I did is that the quality was just not up to snuff. But we have tackled that issue. Everything looks good now. So I'm actually redoing the episode just for you guys because you know we love you guys. Now, we are now recording this with our Canon V10 Power Shot, which really does have the best video quality. So I'm going to be looking back and forth to the camera, especially when we're going to be discussing the books. As you noticed, I'm dressed a little bit casual today because, hey, you know, you're probably watching this in similar attire, if you will, similar attire. So what we're doing right now is we're going to be discussing this. I hope you like the new setup. You'll notice we even have our little rainy day fund right up there. And you know what that is? That's our Patreon. That's our Patreon. So listen, folks, this channel is not lost my voice there for a second. Had a bourbon before. Excuse me. This channel is not yet monetized. So that being the case, I have to ask everybody that if you really do enjoy these features and enjoy these videos, that consider signing up for our Patreon account. We're still looking for great ways to reward our Patreon supporters. But since we are not monetized, we're really doing this for the love of the niche that we are a part of and the love of the industry that we are a part of. And we're trying to bring the very highest quality paranormal content to you guys. That's right, you guys. You're probably going to notice that I drank that bourbon very soon, but that's okay. I finished it, so I won't have to take any breaks like taking another sip because it was kind of like a triple. So anyway, Evan Williams, by the way, who is not a sponsor of this show, but should be, because I have not yet explored the benefits of ghost hunting while I've had a bourbon. Although I did buy this at Gettysburg. This is actually really cool. Check that out. That's actually a Gettysburg stainless steel flask, which I have not had a chance to break in yet, but I will. Just saying. Okay. Well, be that as it may, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to get right into the meat of the show. The meat of the show, which is the books that shaped Gallo family ghost hunters. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, look, seriously, what I'm about to share with you are the books that brought us to where we are today. And that's not even a joke. And I wanted to do this for a very, very long time. I tried to do it on the Facebook Live, but as you know, there's something screwy with the Facebook Live feed, and it comes out all blurry and choppy. And I think that you guys deserve better. You do. You deserve better. And you know why you deserve better? You deserve better because you subscribe to us. And why am I doing this at all? Well, basically, I'm doing this because I feel that since you're a subscriber to this channel, you would like to get inside of our head and really find out what makes us tick, why we believe what we want to believe, which most of it now is due to experience. But in the beginning, why we started doing what we were doing. So that is the entire premise of this program. So we're going to start out right now with book number one. Book number one is number one for a reason. This is Psychic Paradoxes by John Booth. Now, this is not an easy book to get, but I still think you can. And what makes this good? Well, a lot of you already know that I'm also a professional magician. I was actually a full-time professional magician for about 15 years. And I went into the paranormal as a magician, thinking like a magician. Well, so did John Booth. John Booth was a magician, and he went into the paranormal with the psyche of a magician. Now, back then, they weren't called paranormal investigators. Back there, they were called psychic investigators. And this is his adventures as a ghost busting magician. This is way before Ghostbusters too. It's before the 80s. So if you could grab this is great. He does a lot of debunking in this book, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it does give you a lot of food for thought from the perspective of a magician who's ghost hunting, just like yours truly. Yeah, me. Okay, so anyway, Psychic Paradoxes by John Booth. And this is one of the first books I read before I became a psychic investigator or a paranormal researcher myself. All right. So Psychic Paradoxes by John Booth. That is book number one. I think you can still get these on eBay. I would grab one if you can. So that's book number one. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. Okay. Now, book number two is also number two for a reason. Now, after that long expanse of time went by between when I started investigating, then I became a professional magician, then I became a paranormal investigator again. This is one of the very first books. This is one of the very first books that I picked up. And why is it on top? I have no idea, but here it is. Okay. Ghost Hunting in Haunted Cemeteries by Fiona Broome, a how-to guide. Now, a lot of you might recognize that name. That name is Fiona Broome. She actually did the foreword to Family Spirits, and I really wanted her to do that. I'm a huge fan because we cut our teeth on this book. So a lot of you who say, wow, you really do a lot of ghost hunting in haunted cemeteries, and why? And why do spirits haunt their earthly remains? It's all in this book. It all gives you the reasons why ghost hunting in haunted cemeteries is probably one of the most feasible ideas out there. So I know that I don't know if this is available in an actual physical format. I think it's available in ebook. I'm not sure. This is the old cover, so this is actually a collector's item. But if you could find this, do it. And you're probably saying, Bobby, why are you showing all of these books that are like hard to get? Well, the bottom line is they shouldn't be hard to get. They should be on the market, in my opinion. But the bottom line is these books are the ones that I feel were very valuable to me, and I think would be very valuable to you as well. Okay, so that is Psychic Paradoxes, Ghost Hunting in Haunted Cemeteries, and now you're starting to get into our head, get into our psyche, which is really good because you're following this channel. And by the way, as of this recording, we are over 24,800 subscribers. The channel is growing by leaps and bounds, and it looks like it's not going to stop anytime soon, even though we're still not monetized, because YouTube has raised the bar way up here, which is really that's going to be my request to you guys. If you like this content, can you please watch some episodes all the way through from start to finish? I don't even care if they're the short episodes. Just watch some episodes all the way through from start to finish so that we could finally get to our 3,000 hours we need to get monetized. Please do that. I really would appreciate that. Okay. So I'm not even going to, well, I'm saying I'm not going to pitch our books, but I am going to talk about them, which is kind of like pitching the books, but not quite. So anyway, and of course we have the banner behind me, which is like an advertisement. Shh, don't tell anybody. Okay, now next one. This next one is the next one for a reason, because right after Ghost Hunting and Haunted Cemeteries, it is the Orb Project by Mikhail Ledwith and Klaus Heinemann, PhD. And what's ironic about this book is the fact that of all the books on the paranormal, this one actually has the most science in it. And it happens to be a book on orbs, which all the skeptics say are just dust. But it is the quest of Klaus Heinemann and Dr. Ledwith. They wanted to, orbs started showing up in pictures on their cameras, and they wanted to basically investigate to see if it was just dust. And they came up with some interesting perspectives. And I think if you're into the paranormal, I think everybody should read this book, bar none. The Orb Project by Klaus Heinemann, PhD. Get it. I know that one's still available on ebook. Not sure about hardcover or softcover or physical format, where you can actually hold it in your hands. But once again, you should absolutely have that book. Now, if you like that book and you like Klaus, you end up liking Klaus Heinemann and all of his science as it relates to the paranormal, you're going to want to get his follow-up book, which is Phenomena, Code of the Grand Original Design. Now, in this book, he not only tackles orbs, he tackles apparition, UFOs, and crop circles. Excuse me. Now, again, lots of science and a book that I think everybody should pick up. Now, a lot of people that watch our earlier episodes, you're going to notice one thing. When we were first trained, we went down to St. Augustine, and we were actually trained by Dr. Harry Stafford. Now, Dr. Harry Stafford, we only spent a day with this gentleman, but Dr. Harry Stafford had a PhD in divinity, and he didn't write a lot of books on the paranormal. What he did write was this one, The Future of Human Consciousness. Now, if you're like me, and you're like my good friend Ron Iacovetti, one thing that you'll notice is that we make that correlation between human consciousness and the paranormal. Well, so did Dr. Harry Stafford. And this is one of the only books he wrote. Matter of fact, I think it's the only book he wrote. Very hard to find. But if you want to learn about the relationship between the human consciousness and possibly the paranormal, you want this book. It's gold. It really is. So The Future of Human Consciousness by Dr. Harry Stafford. I think it's worth its weight in gold. Okay. So now moving right along. See how we're moving this thing? We're keeping this interesting because I don't want you guys to click off. Stay till the end. We need you to stay till the end. That's why we love you guys. That's why you subscribed, because you want to get into our head, right? To the head that's underneath this hat. It's a pretty cool hat, but I have a head underneath it, and you need to get into it so that you understand where we're coming from as a paranormal team. Okay, next one. The next one is another one that I tapped into early on. How to Photograph the Paranormal by Dr. Lenore Sweet. Now, this book is heavy on orbs again, but you know what? Let me tell you something about this. She debunks a lot of the orbs in this book. So she comes at this from a very scientific perspective. Although there are those orbs that defy explanation. And those are the ones that that captures our interest and that Courtney used to see when she was a small child. And so I highly recommend this book. It actually encompasses a lot of the paranormal, but it is very orb-centric. Next one. Wow. Isn't this cool? This is like the paranormal awesomeness of the book world. Okay, now the next one I know you're going to really like. This is another one. Now, this one is a little religious. God in the Paranormal, Part One, Mediums, Ghosts, and the Afterlife in the Bible by Reverend Christina Rake, who is now Archbishop Christina Rake. Now, why is this book important? Because you know as well as I do that if you're in the paranormal niche at all, you get a lot of fundamentalist Christians who are very well-meaning people, very good people, but they think that everything that we contact on an investigation or through a psychic medium is evil and demonic. And Reverend Christina, from a biblical perspective, debunks all of that. So I believe it's a solid foundation for anybody that is interested in the paranormal, and also gives you ammunition when you get attacked by evangelicals or fundamentalists. And like I said, I have nothing against those people. I have a lot of good friends who are, but they're wrong. And this book will tell you why. So I absolutely recommend this book. Okay. So now moving right along again. This book I haven't even finished yet, but I'm going to recommend it now anyway. You see, I got a bookmark there. Science at the Doorstep to God. Now, this is actually written by a priest who's a PhD, but you wouldn't know that he's a priest because it is so scientific. This is not light reading. It just like Phenomena is from Klaus Heinemann. This is not light reading. If you're looking for light reading, this is not for you. But if you really want to delve into the scientific explanations for the supernatural, you definitely want this book. This book is amazing. It really is. Science at the Doorstep to God. So definitely pick this one up. Okay. Now, the final two that I'm going to recommend, I have a personal interest in, but there's a reason for that. And that is my own books. Family Spirits, The Adventures and Evidence of Gallo Family Ghost Hunters. Now, yes, it might seem a little self-serving that I am going to mention this book, but I think everybody should have this book. Why? Because first and foremost, this is not just a compilation of our investigations, even though that's probably some of the best parts, according to people who've read it. It's a paranormal primer. It's everything I've known about the paranormal. And even though now it's been a number of years since this has been published, none of my theories have changed. In fact, most of them have been reinforced. So I believe that everyone should read this book. It'll teach you about the paranormal. In the second half of the book are the mind-bending investigations that we had as a family, Gallo Family Ghost Hunters. Number 3 on Amazon in the adventure travel category for weeks. It gets rave reviews. Everybody who reads it loves it. This is an easy read. This is not a very scientific read. This is an easy read, but it really pulls you in because when I wrote this, it all just pretty much just like came out. And this gives you the behind the scenes of a lot of the episodes that you're watching on this channel. So this is why this is almost like a companion to this channel, which is why I think everybody should have it. You can get this in ebook, hardcover, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and even Book Baby Bookshop. So there's a lot of places you can get this book, both in physical format and ebook. So Family Spirits, The Adventures and Evidence of Gallo Family Ghost Hunters, highly recommended by me. Yes, I know I wrote it. Also, remember how I was talking to you about the Patreon account? Well, look, folks, like I said, this channel is not monetized, so that if you could purchase one of these books, it goes a long way to help us keep this on, keep producing new material. You know, book sales are one of the only ways that we subsidize our investigations, and we don't make a whole lot of money. So if you do enjoy this channel, buy a book. You're really helping us out. That being said, we have our second book, which is Family Spirits 2, Purpose and the Paranormal by Bobby J. Gallo. Now, why did I write this book? First of all, we had a lot of investigations that happened since the publication of the first book, and we wanted to talk about them. So I ended up publishing this book. But what really makes this cool are the interviews I have with some of the brightest luminaries in the paranormal field. Brian Cano from Paranormal Code on Camera and Haunted Collector, Archbishop Christina Rake, who wrote the book I previously just spoke about, psychic medium Christina Sylvia Rossi, It's the bourbon. Sylvia Rossi, who honestly is one of the foremost psychic mediums in my mind, and one that I have had some personal experiences with that I relate in this book. Kevin Kincaid, Hollywood actor turned psychic medium. We also have Father Sean Whittington, who is one of the cast members of Eli Roth's Legion of Exorcists. He's in the book, exclusive interview, good friend of mine. Okay. Yeah. You didn't think I was friends with some of these big celebs, but I am. Okay. Because, hey, we have some credibility here. There you go. Okay. And there's others too in here. I'm like, it's amazing. We have Sylvia Rossi, Brian Cano. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Christina Rake, talked about her. Father Sean Whittington, and Kevin Kincaid. Yep, there we go. Those are the celebrities in Family Spirits 2, in addition to our investigations. So you definitely want to pick that one up. Now, the only other one would be my book on how to be a magician, which is the Magic School Archives. I don't have it here, and that's because this is a paranormal book review and not a magic book review, but I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention it. Okay, so there you go, folks. Now we're going to do them backwards. Family Spirits 2, boom. Family Spirits, boom. Science at the Doorstep to God, boomers. Got to read this one. God in the Paranormal, Part 1, Medium, Ghosts, and the Afterlife in the Bible. How to Photograph the Paranormal. The Future of Human Consciousness. Phenomena. I did that pretty good. The Orb Project. Ghost Hunting in Haunted Cemeteries. This is a pretty good list. And Psychic Paradoxes. A very eclectic book collection, but one that is very important to me. And just to let you guys know, I actually go back to these books again and again and again and reread them. That's how much I like them. So when you go through and you watch our episodes and you say, hey, where did they learn how to do all this stuff? These books were a big part of it. You know, Dr. Harry Stafford, even though we only spent one day with him, taught us a lot. Taught us how to use temperature guns, EMF detectors in paranormal investigation, and techniques that we still use today and have been proven out over countless investigations as reliable tools to detect paranormal energies. So that's it, folks. I think we are actually going to cut it off here. But look, if you really want to learn about the paranormal, the first thing you should do is watch all the episodes and watch them through. Don't just watch them for a minute or two, because normally, and this is the case, a lot of the good material happens at the very end of the videos. The really powerful stuff is at the end. Everything is a lead up until the end. Okay, so watch these episodes through and through. Very, very important. Okay, if you really want to get a good handle on what we do and how we do it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you buy our books. It really does help us out to subsidize our investigations and keep this channel going. Watch the episodes. Watch them. Start with the first ones. Start with the one that I did back in 1990. I would start with that one. And then start with the first one that I did with the family, and just go through the playlists video by video and watch them all through to the end. Folks, there's 23,000 plus people right now as of the recording in this video. If I could get everyone to watch one video through to its entirety, we'd be monetized, and then we'd really be rocking and rolling and really pumping out the content for you guys. And that's where we want to be. We love you guys. So please, if you're not already liked and subscribed to this video, please like and subscribe. Okay. Get your friends to do it. If you're into the paranormal, get your paranormal groups to do it. And watch us. Buy our books and watch us. That's all we ask. If you do need paranormal equipment, if you go up to the links above this video in our link tree, you'll see that we have an affiliate account with Ghost Stop. Just buy the equipment like you normally would, but use our affiliate link. So yeah, I mean, helping us out really isn't hard to do, and we really do appreciate it. And we'll give you guys a shout out because we love you guys. Oh, and please like and comment and like below because that's really, really important for the YouTube algorithm. But thanks for watching, folks. I hope you really enjoy this. And I really enjoyed remaking this because the last one was horrible. It really was. But this one looks pretty good. So once again, this is Bobby J. Gallo for Gallo Family Ghost Hunters. And these are the books that shaped Gallo Family Ghost Hunters. Have a good night, folks.